Sylvania, pioneer in light, sight, and sound, invites you to join the fun as we play America's #1 party game, Beat the Clock, starring America's #1 clock watcher, Bud Collier.
Welcome once again to Beat the Clock, a show where you can have the time of your life playing against time for big-time prizes. We have a couple of contestants from last week here tonight who had a chance to practice their stunt all week. How are you there?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Nice to have you back. It was Mr. and Mrs. Grieger, that's right. Do you have your card there, Mr. Grieger? Well, it's nice to have you back. You live in Baltimore, Maryland. That's right. Did you come up specially for the show tonight?
Oh, yes.
Did you practice the stunt at home?
A little bit.
Only a little bit?
We couldn't get any right-sized pillows.
Oh, you couldn't get any right-sized pillows. Well, it did involve pillows. You're perfectly right. Well, we'll see just how soft a proposition it'll be for you in just a few minutes, but... Say, what's this? It's like somebody's giving Bill Shipley the eye. Let's take a look.
Well, if you'd like to give your eyes a real treat, take a look at Sylvania's newest television first, Halo Light. Now, here's the greatest television development since the big screen picture tube. Halo Light. It's a soft frame of light around the screen to reduce that sharp contrast between the brilliant picture and the darker outside surroundings. And you'll notice, too, that Halo Light makes the picture look larger and more lifelike. You look for Halo Light on Sylvania's new Golden Jubilee models, the finest television sets ever built at any price. So visit your Sylvania dealer and see those movie-clear pictures that are held rock steady by exclusive triple lock, and hear that studio-clear sound on a wide range of table and console and combination models, each of which is individually styled. And then you'll know that for the most in television enjoyment and television value, it's always Sylvania.
And remember, only Sylvania has Halo Light.
That's all right. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Grieger. Now, let's see. You have 3 children, don't you?
That's right.
Are they all watching tonight?
Yes.
You want to
Hello,
wave
Dave.
to them? Go on, wave to them
Hi,
right in
Dave.
here. Get that out of the way quick, and I'll wave to my 3, too, and then we're all set to start off. Come on back over here. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you something. Incidentally, tonight, you are going to be playing not only for yourselves, but you know the community chess campaign is on now in most localities, or will be starting in the next few days. So Sylvania, for every clock that you and every contestant beats tonight, is going to send a contribution in your name to the community chest. See? So you're working sort of a double-edged sword here tonight. All right, come on over here and take your positions. I think you were next to me, weren't you, Miss Grieger? You were next to him and next to me. I mean, don't try to pull away. All right, Betty, would you put the pillow between their cheeks? Remember, this was kind of a cheek-to-cheek proposition. Now, Mr. Grieger, remember, you can't use your hands at any time. Remember that? And Mrs. Grieger, you can only use your left hand to go along here and pick up pillow after pillow, placing them next to this one between your cheek and the pillow, or between your husband's, I don't care which end you pile them from, until you wind up with all those other 5 pillows, and you're standing cheek to cheek, holding them just with your cheeks. Do you understand the problem? All right, I'm going to take a look at our Sylvania clock and tell you how many seconds we have. 55 seconds. That's practically the limit. So, okay? You understand your problem now?
Yeah.
You're all set.
All right.
Go. Stop the clock. Now get these 3 straight again. Come on. Get these 3 straight. You can use your hands to get these 3 straight. Come on. Because these 3 you didn't drop, see? Now I'm going to put these right in front of you and start again from here. Here are 2 more right there. Even give you that little bit of advantage. Now, you ready?
All right. Okay.
Go. Stop the clock! All right! That last second on you, that was too close. All right, boy, I'm telling you, that's kind of tough, you know, because they keep squeezing out there and popping out. See, and you've also won a contribution for the community chest. Now, step back on in there, because I want to make a little quick announcement to everybody that's watching with us tonight. This, from now on, this was a carryover stunt from last week, but from here on through the show tonight, with all our contestants, all our stunts are going to be sort of a little Halloween show. They're all based on stunts we have done before, all actually stunts we have done before on the show in other weeks over the last year or so. And also, you'll find them in our little Beat the Clock party game booklet. If you haven't got one, be sure to write Sylvania and get one. And you can have a lot of fun if you're having a Halloween party. So watch these stunts tonight. They may give you some ideas, okay? Now comes the sweet part. You know, sweets to the sweet, and that's the way we think it should always be in a happily married life. And now your kid's going to love this. Come on over here with me, both of you, if you will, to our ice cream parlor. Did you ever make sundaes at home?
Oh, yes, lots of times.
Oh, you have? Well, come over. I want to see how good your technique is. Now, if you'll just step right up there, you can become a soda jerk for just a moment. And you, sir, you are going to have the privilege of having the finest seat in the house for this particular stunt.
That's great.
So, what's the matter?
Oh, that's fine.
You don't sound like you trust me. Would you put that shower cap on, please? That's to keep your hair out of your eyes, you understand? That's all it's for, nothing else in the world. That's the idea. Now, if you will just lie down there with your feet out that way on your back, you'll have the best view of this whole thing.
I never had a Sunday like that.
Oh, you said it, you didn't. All right. Lie right down here, if you will, please, Mr. Grieger. That's the idea. That's it. Now, keep your legs flat if you possibly can. And here's the special little Sunday glass. You see, there it is. Now, I'm going to ask you to hold that in your teeth. There you are, sir. Now, your job, Mrs. Grieger, is simply to fill that Sunday glass and make the sundae. Now, here is a scoop, and there is some ice cream. Now, you must keep dropping ice cream balls until you get one in the cup. You understand? As soon as you have the ice cream in the cup, we have a container of chocolate syrup for you to go on top of the sundae. As soon as you have the ice cream well covered with chocolate syrup, the finishing touch, whipped cream on top of the chocolate syrup. Oh, you know how to work those little ready whip things there? You just push that little nozzle to the side, either way. Point it down and push it either way. Do you understand? All right, I'm going to take a look at our Sylvania clock with you and see how many seconds we have. 35 seconds to finish that sundae. Are you ready? Go. Get a scoop there. Oh, in the cup, in the cup, in the cup. All right, now, chocolate syrup, here we come, here we come. All right, that's enough. Oh, brother! We'll get him cleaned up for you. Woo, man, oh, man, oh, man. I don't know, but I strongly suspect you were taking on a long-time urge there.
I enjoyed it.
I'm afraid you did. All right, would you step up on the far end of that little platform there, please? Because now you've won your way through to the jackpot clock. And now you carry on for the family Grieger alone. In back of this curtain is our big magnetic board, our jackpot board, with all of the words on it of a famous saying or quotation. They're all out of order. Now, what you have to do is move them around on that board so they spell out from left to right, you know, a regular sentence form, the famous saying or quotation we're after. You have 20 seconds from the time I say go. Do you understand the problem? All right, open the curtain. Go. No, it's not right yet. No. You've only got 3 seconds. Oh, golly, I'm sorry you didn't quite beat the clock. Let me show you what it should have been. It should have been, come live with... Oh, I'm dropping them all over the place here, too. Come live with me and be my love. That's what it is. Come live with me and be my love. Well, you did very well. Anyway, tonight, come on, step down here again. Mr. Krieger, you got the show was worth on coming back, wasn't you? And don't forget you have beaten our $200 clock. So let's see what you've won.
A Speed Queen washer with a time-saving bowl-shaped tub and double wall feature which holds heat and keeps the water piping hot through the entire washing. Manufactured by the Speed Queen Corporation of Ripon, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Grieger. You've just won a Beat the Clock prize worth more than $200.
My congratulations to Mrs. Grieger. I want to remind you that you've also won a contribution or 2 clocks. 2 contributions to be sent to the community chest in your and Mr. Grieger's name. Good night, good luck, and God bless you. Nice to have had you with us. Roxanne?
Bud, this is Mr. and Mrs. Ray Milan from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Ray Milan?
Right.
How do you spell this? Oh, M-E-L-A-H-N. Milan. I beg your pardon. Sound like Ray Milan for a minute. Would you step around the other side of your wife? I like to have the gals next to me. You don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
How long you been married?
We've been married almost a year.
Almost a year. Well, it looks like it's been a happy year for the two of you. What do you do for a living, Ray?
I'm a special agent for the Air Force.
Special agent for the Air Force? What does
Right.
that mean, may I ask?
I am a member of the Office of Special Investigations. It's the same as ONI and CID.
Oh, I see. Well, do you have is this a civilian job, or are you actually in the Air Force?
Some of us are civilians and some are in the Air Force.
And which are you?
That is confidential.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Lost my head. Excuse me. Strike it out. Turn your sets off for just a minute. Sorry, boy. Okay. Mr. and Mrs.
I'd be glad to tell you if I could.
I know you would. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Believe me. All right. So, well, now we have a little stunt for you two, and it's a special little stunt tonight. I'll tell you why. If you do it the way we first have it set up, you will go right through our $100 and our $200 clocks. Move right up to the jackpot clock with no stunt in between. You understand? If you fail, we'll set the clock back, give you another try at it under other conditions, but you'll then just be trying for the $100 clock. You understand? Going to give you a real bonus try at it, though. See if you can jump right through two clocks, okay?
Swell.
All right, going to see how well you two cooperate in your married life. Come on over here with me, if you will. Now, Mrs. Milan, if you'll stand on this side of me facing your husband, and Mr. Milan, if you'll stand right here facing your wife, that's the idea. I'm going to ask Betty to blindfold each of you. That's it. Just slide it down so she doesn't hurt you there. Pull it down and play fair with us and tell us when it's on good and snug so you can't even peek out from underneath. You want to slide this down here a little bit. I think it'll hold better. Now, let's kind of straighten it around there. How's that? You can't see a thing, huh? Blind as a bat. How about you, Ray?
Same here.
All snug in there, too, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, fine. Now, Madeline is going to bring out some various items, and she is going to deposit some of them on the floor between the two of you, and Betty and Madeline are going to put boxing gloves on each of you. Now, before you get too apprehensive about this and think that we've given you a chance to have a slugfest with each other, it's not that at all. Let me tell you what it involves. On the floor between you are some garments. They're male garments. Now, what happens is you have got to see to it that they all get on your husband. Say, we should have taken his coat off, I think, Betty. Let's come back over here and slip this off, and he can, you take his jacket over there and hang it on the stand, if you will, please. He takes his wallet out of the coat. This guy's no fool. All right, sir, would you put this glove back on again? Here's this one. And what you're going to have to do is help your husband get into these garments that are on the floor. There are 3 in number, and you just got to work them out with your sense of feel. Slide your hand well in there because you're going to have to use your thumb. Well, that's what you'll have to find out for yourself without removing. And I'm going to tell you how many seconds you have on our Sylvania clock. 55 seconds. Now, don't forget, if you do it, you'll go right through. They're right on the floor between you. And here you two are. Reach your hands out. There you are. Okay? Are you ready? Go. Come on, your husband now. Figure out where you think it's going. Time's running out. You've only got 30 seconds. Try something else. Other things will... Hurry up. Try something else. No, you haven't done anything. 8 seconds. 7. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't do it. Now, don't take your blindfolds off. Don't take your blindfolds off, but slip your boxing gloves off. You didn't do it on the bonus conditions. You sure were pawing the air. Special investigator indeed. Huh? Now, wait a minute. Now, you have the same 3 articles on the floor between you. You're going to put the clock back again to 55 seconds, but now you're just trying for the $100 clock, okay? Now, you've just got the blindfolds on, and I'll tell you that the articles are a coat, a vest, and a pair of pants. Are you ready? Go! Come on, get them on.
This must be the pants.
Okay, there he goes. Right, you've only got 25 seconds. Get the pants. Turn around. Turn around. That's it. take the blindfolds off. They'll help you out of that. And as soon as you're ready, why, slide along on back here, because we have lots more in store for you. That means, of course, you've gone through the $100 clock, and that's going to bring... What did you think you had there a couple of times? Anyway, you're laughing so hard you're crying. Miss Milan, you have to give her your hanky, will you? That's the boy. Okay, well, now, before we go along any further, while you're mopping your tears there, here's Bill Shipley with some important information about television sets which you may not have known.
By far the most important part of any television set is the picture tube. And that's why the names you know best in television use the best name in picture tubes, Sylvania. Yes, sir. Sylvania makes the picture tubes that are installed by the leading manufacturers in their sets right on the assembly line. Famous names such as Admiral, Capehart, Crosley, Emerson, Hallicrafter, Hoffman, Magnavox, Motorola, Philco, Stromberg Carlson, Westinghouse, and Zenith. From A to Z, they all use Sylvania picture tubes. And friends, when your television set needs a new picture tube, you follow the example of these leading set manufacturers we've just told you about and insist on Sylvania. You can be sure of getting Sylvania picture or receiving tubes wherever you see this Sylvania radio and television service sign. For right there is where you will find experts with the latest up-to-date Sylvania test and repair equipment and with those precision-built, pre-tested, and really long-lasting Sylvania tubes. So let this sign be your guide to skilled workmanship, to quality materials, and to fair prices. The Sylvania radio and television service sign.
Right you are, Bill. Incidentally, take a little quick look at what I've got here. This is a little button that says on it, Give the United Way. And, of course, that's your community chest. When the guy comes around to your door, don't close it, but give. Give just a little bit more than you would have normally. And, of course, don't forget you folks are working for the community chest tonight right along with everything else that you win. Now, Mr. Milan, this is entirely yours. So, Mrs. Milan, you don't have to break into tears on this one. You can just stand here and get excited for him. And you come over here with me, Ray, if you will, please. I want to see how well-balanced a guy you are. I understand that to be in the Air Force in any form, you have to be a well-balanced guy. Isn't that right?
Yes.
All right.
I was out last night.
Oh, you were out last night? Well, you're going to be out tonight, I'll tell you. Lie right down here, if you will. Put your head back on this pillow, Ray. That's it. Stretch right out. And when you do, sort of lie down with your chin sort of forward on your chest. There's a reason for that, and I'll show you what it is. Here is a glass filled with water, and I mean filled. I'm going to balance this on your forehead, Ray. Just like that. See, now be careful. Now, all you have to do to beat the $200 clock is to get up on your feet without dropping that glass of water. Now, if you drop the glass of water, we have several others here we'll replace them with and just keep right on replacing them. So I'll take a look at the clock for you. Sylvania says you have 55 seconds to stand up with any one of them still on your head without touching them with your hands. Are you ready? Go. Steady, Ray. Easy does it. Easy does it. Look at this guy. Look, we'll give you another one. Come, get your head forward. Get your head forward so your forehead's flat. That's it. Up you come. Come on, boy. You still have 43 seconds. That's a lot of time. Easy does it. Easy does it. Oh, he's going off the platform. Steady now. Watch it. Watch it. Stop! Okay, we'll get your hand, your face dried off. And now, Mrs. Milan, we'll take him off stage there for you. It's your turn now to carry on for the family, so be sure you're not looking at it through tears here. Stand up on the end of that platform. In back of this curtain is our famous magnetic jackpot board. On it are all of the words of a famous saying or quotation. They're held there by magnetism. You can move them around to your heart's content. Move them around, because they're all out of order until they spell out from left to right, just like you'd print out a sentence, all of the words of a famous saying or quotation. 20 seconds from the time I say go. Open the curtain. Go. There's the con gal. Stop the clock. Necessity is the mother of invention, and you got it. You beat a jackpot clock. Congratulations to you, Mrs. Milan. Oh, boy. I want to remind you, if I may, that not only have you beaten our 3 clocks, but Sylvania is going to send 3 contributions in your name to the community chest, okay? Now, you've beaten our jackpot clock, so let's see what you've won. Just take a look over here.
Mr. and Mrs. Milan, your prize is this Sylvania Golden Jubilee television set, the Madison, with Sylvania's exclusive View Comfort Halo light. This handsome console incorporates all of Sylvania's outstanding features. Movie clear pictures and higher fidelity studio clear sound are assured because of triple lock tuning. The cabinet of the Madison is made of natural blonde wood and contains a 20-inch wide-angle screen. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Milan. You have just won Sylvania's jackpot prize.
Congratulations to you and much happiness to you both. Good night. Roxanne, may we have our next contestants, please?
But I'd like you to meet Mr. and Mrs. George Rowland from Haddon Heights, New Jersey.
Thank you very much, Roxanne. Mr. and Mrs. George Rowland. Hi, Miss Rowland.
Yes.
Don't be so nervous there now. George, nice to have you here with us. You're from Haddon Heights, New Jersey? How long have you been married?
A year this month.
A year this month. And what do you do, Mr. Rowland?
I'm a gym teacher.
A gym teacher?
Yes, sir.
Over where? In the Haddon Heights School?
Delaware Township Public Schools.
What sort of things do you teach there?
Well, it's just a recreation program. I have grades 1 to 8 inclusive.
Oh, you got the little fellas, huh?
All the way up.
Well, you have to have a lot more patience with that. Incidentally, you know, this is our all-Halloween show. I told everybody before that all the stunts we're doing tonight, we have done before, and suggestions for little Halloween games at home on Halloween if you're giving parties. Now, I want to see again how well-balanced the two of you are. This is a little similar to something we did before tonight, so maybe you won't find it too hard. Come on over here with me. You're trying now for the $100 clock. Mrs. Rowland, if you'll stand on that side over there, Mr. Rowland, you stay on this side, and I want to show you what it is you have to do. Face each other, if you will. And just as a slight example, if you'll walk forward until you are holding this between your two tummies together. Just come forward. That's the idea. Now, that's the way I'm going to start you off, see? Okay, now stand back so I can illustrate what it is. You start with that box between your two stomachs, see? Then, one by one, when I say go, you start picking boxes, and you two, one at a time, and slide them in between your stomach and the side of the box that's next to you. Constantly moving away from each other, of course, until you have all of these shoe boxes supported between your two stomachs. I warn you, be careful, because one little bit out of line, and boink, the whole business goes. If it does, we'll pile them back up here and you start again, okay? All right, now come together. Let's take a look at our Sylvania clock first and see how many seconds you have. 55 seconds, okay, between your tummies. All right, are you ready? Go! Straight now, don't forget, get them straight. Use both your hands, sir. That's it. Straighten them out as you go. Straighten them out as you go. Go too far. Sit. Don't go too fast or too far. So take it to throw it. 35 seconds yet to go. That's it. Straighten out. That's it. Easy now. Easy does it. Careful now. You got to have all hands away when you get through. Hands away now. All hands away. Stop! And through the $100 clock you go. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? You see, that was showing that you two are very well-balanced people. That shows that the give and take in your married life must be one that's fairly simple. And, of course, you've won another contribution for the community chest, which will be sent there by Sylvania in your name for each clock as we go along in our Halloween show. Well, now, we're going to find out what your problem is on the $200 clock very shortly. But first of all, let's take a look at something you may never have seen, as explained for you now by Bill Shipley.
Maybe you haven't, Bud, because right now you're looking at the underside of a television set. And every one of those coils and condensers, the resistors and transformers in that maze of wire is essential to the reception of either picture or sound. Now, those are 300 sources of possible trouble. So it takes a real expert to isolate and correct that trouble if something should go wrong with your television set. You know, becoming a television repair specialist entails long training, and it takes constant study to keep up with the ever-changing circuit designs of 1,000 or so different sets. But even skill and knowledge are not enough, because good television service is a permanent business that requires a stock of over 600 different parts and tubes. So you can see that when something goes wrong with your television set and it needs a bit of attention, you need to find a qualified service specialist, like the man who displays this Sylvania radio and television service sign. For at that sign, you're going to find experts who have the latest, last word, up-to-the-minute Sylvania test and repair equipment and those fine, rugged, long-lasting Sylvania tubes. So the man at this sign depends on Sylvania for quality materials Believe me, you can depend on him for expert service at really fair prices.
Right you are, Bill, and thank you very much. Job well done, as always. Mr. and Mrs. Rowland, through the $100 clock you've gone, you're going now into the $200 clock. And this should be something that you will both enjoy very much. So if you will both come over here with me. And Mrs. Rowland, if you will take a position right in between these two little tables, you notice there's a little sort of paper plate on each one. Mr. Rowland, you come on over here. Now, you have to make a little short trip this time. Here are a whole bunch of pencils, you see? Whole supply of little short pencils. Now, what you have to do with them is comparatively simple. You have to take these pencils one by one and transfer any three of them, one at a time, to your wife, and she has to deposit them on that plate over there. When you have transferred three of them over there, we'll stop the clock and you'll beat the clock. Simple enough, isn't it? Would you step back just a little way so I can show everybody how many seconds you have from the time I say go? 50 seconds to transport three pencils. Now, come back over a little closer, if you will. You are to meet her halfway and you him halfway, because you're the only one that can use your hands. You must pick up the pencil like this, place it between your nose and your lip like this, and then you transfer it to your wife like this. You take it away. I think I'll do it. You go on outside. You get the idea, though? Let's see if you got a hooker there. Hey, boy, now let's see if you can, too. Come on, get a hold of it there. That's the girl, and that's all you have to do with three of them. Get them over there. You can't use your hands in any way. You can only use it to pick the pencil up and put it between your nose and your lip. You got the idea? Okay, remember, 50 seconds. Go. Wait a minute. Here comes to meet you. That's the girl. That's the girl. There's one. Enjoying this. Go on and do something else. Do it again. Go ahead. This is fine. That's fine. All right, stop the clock. That's kind of fun, wasn't it? I was willing to go right on and demonstrate it for you. Of course, the funniest thing, you don't have the vantage point I had. Looking out there in the audience, everybody that I could see were all going like this, see? And I'll bet my wife was, too. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Rowland, you're going to move up now to a try for the jackpot, so it's all yours. You step up over there, if you will, please. Mr. Rowland, you can't help in any way now, so you stand on that end of that platform. You just got to stand by and just hope, you understand? Back of this curtain is our big magnetic board with all the words of a famous saying or quotation. They're all out of order. You move them around until they're in order, reading from left to right. Goodness gracious, this has never happened before. Do you know what's happened? We used up all our seconds and minutes just before the jackpot try. Now, let's see. You come from Haddon Heights, New Jersey. Can you come back next week for a try at our jackpot?
I don't know. It's pretty rough. We got a day off. That's the reason we were able to come over.
You've got a day off to come over? Well, I'll tell you. We'll have it. I don't know. I'll consult with the judges. Just a minute. What did you say, sir? Give him the set. You win the television set. All right. Congratulations. I'm sorry you couldn't come back. You're a real good sport. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go tonight, see, I have to consult with Mr. Sylvania. He has to tell me that, you know. So I want to tell you before you go tonight that if you would like to see a very nice little spread of stunts that we do, if you'll buy the current issue of Pageant magazine, right back here, you'll find a whole write-up of all the stunts, a lot of stunts that we do on Beat the Clock. Have a lot of fun with it. And also, if you'll buy the current Colliers, you'll see some pictures of Roxanne. This is Bud Collier speaking for Sylvania, hoping that next time may be your time to beat the clock. Good night, everybody.
Beat the Clock has been presented by Sylvania, pioneer for half a century in light, sight, and sound.
This is the CBS Television Network.